All right. Our fifth MARGISTAR Summit Series webinar. Welcome, everybody. Today, our guest scientist is Giacomo Staffolani, PhD, who is a postdoc in Università Politecnica delle Marche. And he recently obtained a PhD with the thesis Sustainability of Mountain Dairy Farming. In particular, during his PhD, he focused on analysis of the economic sustainability of mountain dairy farms through the application of different methodological approaches. So today, his presentation is about sustainability of mountain dairy farms. Yes, welcome, Giacomo, again. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Basically, today I will show to you the results of my thesis. Can you see?
Not yet. Yeah, we see now. Okay. Okay, Giacomo.
Okay, so we can start.
All right, please.
So what was my research aim? My research aim was to analyze the sustainability of the dairy livestock sector and the dairy supply chain in mountain areas, highlighting what are the main critical issues and main opportunities. But why focus on the dairy livestock sector in mountain areas? Because in the European Union, and most in particular in Italy, mountain areas host the 56% of the dairy cattle farms. It hosts the 34% of the animals raised, and the 19% of the Italian milk production is in mountain areas. However, in the last 20 years, in Italy, we lost the 9% of the mountain dairy farms, and but they increase of the 19% of the animal raised in those farms. What are the cause of this increase? This decrease in farms, increase in animals, because it's that a lot of farm and a lot of dairy farms in Italy are actually small farms with elderly farmers. There was a strong price volatility, mostly due of the end of the milk quota in European Union, an increase in production cost, a lot of problems caused by the climate change, and a big change in consumer needs that in the last years started to consume less and less dairy products in favor of vegetable products. Those causes have a lot of effects. The first one was the concentration of process. So we can see less small farms and more big and intensive farms with more animals. We can see a loss of permanent grassland with a lot of effects on reduction of ecosystem service, but also other environmental effects, and a big loss of cultural heritage and tradition, with the loss, for example, of typical products. So we conduct a literature research, and what emerged in the literature? From the point of view of environmental and socially sustainable point of view, we can see that mountain dairy farms are environmentally and socially sustainable. In fact, the mountain dairy farms, and especially the extensive one, produce a lot of ecosystem service that are fundamental from the environmental point of view. And from the social point of view, they are a motor for a lot of other activities, such, for example, the tourism. And in some area, they can represent one of the only economic way, the only work that you can do in the mountain areas. But we see that they are missing article about the economically sustainable of the mountain areas. So, and moreover, we identify the need to identify the economic condition of the mountain dairy farms in particular, to implement more effective strategies and policies, and we need the value to identify a way to add value food produced in those areas to make it more recognizable and to help farms that are in mountain areas. So we decide to divide my research into two ways. In the first one, we apply a cost accounting and profitability analysis, make a direct interview at dairy farmers that are situated in mountain areas and in lowland areas. In this analysis, we define the cost, the margins, and assess the diversification investment of those farms to see if they are sustainable economically or not. And in particular, as I said, we found two main case studies. The first one was an extensive dairy farm located in mountain areas of the Marche region, where they use grassland and they produce both milk and transform dairy products in the farm. The second case study was an intensive dairy farm situated in a lowland area that only sell the milk produced to a cooperative. So it's extremely specialized. And another thing that I want to say, the mountain case study today apply the mountain product label. But what is the mountain product label? The mountain product label is an optional quality term introduced under the quality package by European Union. And here in this slide, we can see the Italian label for this label. It is also in other regions, like for example, there is a Romanian label and so on. And to access this label, you need to feed your cattle with 60% of feed from mountain. You need to transform the product not in the 30 kilometers from mountain at maximus, and it's very easy to join for producer. So could be an opportunity for producer to diversify the products. And this case study today already applied this kind of label. What is the results of the analysis? From the analysis of the total cost, we can see that the extensive farm located in mountain areas have an average of plus 55% of more of cost than the intensive one. And in particular, we can see that there is an increase in the period between 2021 and 2022 due to the COVID-19 pandemic and due to the Ukrainian war. But what are the main cost items? The main cost items are the feed purchases and the feed produced. In particular, the feed purchased are the main cost for the lowland farms because they produce a very small portion of their feed. So they buy everything they use. The feed produced is the main cost from the extended one because they use the grassland, and the use of grassland have a very big impact on the economy of the farm. And moreover, they also produce grass fodder in their farms, and they have a lot of cost for the agricultural practice for the disadvantage that the mountain area have. But looking at the average revenue from the sales, we can see that the average revenue of the extensive one is higher than the intensive one. And in particular, in the extensive one are recognized a higher price for milk, price that is plus 19%. And this is due to the fact that the milk produced in the mountain areas have the mountain product label that that can give to them a higher price, and have quality characteristics that permits the farms to sell the milk in higher cost. However, if you put together the average total cost and the average revenue from sales, considering also the average revenue from regards, we can see that the extensive farms, for every year considered, have a loss, while the intensive one have a loss only during 2021 due to the pandemic. However, as we say in the definition of this case study, the mountain case study also transform inside the farm. And here we can see the cost accounting and profitability analysis from the dairies produced. And as we can see, if we consider the transformation phases, the margin of the dairy of the extensive farm is positive. So, what are the conclusions? If the farms only produce milk in mountain areas today, it's not enough to cover all the costs that they have. But if they use other strategies, like for example, the transformation and the diversification, they can have a positive margin. So, starting from this point, we wanted to analyze if there is what could be a way to give an added value of the food produced in those areas, in particular for milk and for cheese. And we decided to make two different analyses, one for milk and one for cheese, using as a way to differentiate the production the mountain product label used from the case study mountain. In particular, for analyze the milk, we choose to apply a condition evaluation method, while to analyze the cheese, we used to apply the discrete choice experiment. Starting from the condition evaluation, we prepare a survey that we distributed it online, and we reach a final sample of 55 Italian consumers. The data was analyzed using a logic model where we consider the socio-demographic characteristic of the sample, the characteristic related to the label, and the attributes of the sample. And moreover, we elicitate the willingness to pay for a milk with the mountain product label with an open-ended condition evaluation. From the logic model, we can see that the variables that have a positive influence on the consumer, on the choice of the mountain product label, are the interest in environmental characteristics. So we can assume that people associate the mountain product label with the positive environmental characteristics of the dairy farms. The organoleptic characteristics are recognized. We can see that from the look variable and the smell variable. So people, the correlation between the mountain product label and the organoleptic characteristic that they think that the product, the mountain product have. The mood aspect is important. So people relate a good mood with the mountain product production. And lastly, the mountain product is seen as familiar. So people don't recognize the mountain product as something new, but they recognize it as something familiar, and more it's familiar for them, and more they are prone to buy it. From the other side, we found a negative influence for the choice of the mountain product label for the milk, in particular in people that are not, in particular when they associate the mountain product label with a nutritional aspect. So consumers don't associate the label with particular nutritional aspect, like, for example, the presence of protein. Moreover, people are not interested in cheap products, and this could relate it to the trust. In fact, as we said, it's expensive to produce milk in mountain areas. So people can have no trust in a milk that is produced in mountain areas, but is cheap. And people sense the Monte Porto label as traditional. So they associate to variable as a new food, trend food, and a no food have a negative influence in the choose of the Monte Porto label. Lastly, talking about the willingness to pay, we found positive premium price for the milk with Monte Porto label, and in particular, we found premium price of 15 cents for fresh milk with the Monte Porto label. So the Monte Porto label is confirmed for the milk as a good way to increase the value of the Monte production. Passing at the second consumer analysis, however, at the discrete choice experiment on multiple cheese, we applied a labeled discrete choice experiment. We reached a final sample of 511 Italian consumers, thanks to the Nortec company. We analyzed the data using a random parameter logic model, and we established the marginal willingness to pay. This analysis was conducted in collaboration with the Center of Agri-Food Economics and Development of Barcelona. How we choose the attributes for the choice experiment? We start from a literature review and the interview of modern farmers, and from the literature review, we find as the main factor why choose the cheese, the origin. And in particular, we decided to divide it in local, Italian, and imported. Moreover, from the mountain farmers, we find that they wanted to test if other characteristics, like, for example, the use of health benefit milk to produce the cheese would be interesting to consumer. So we added the A2 meals as attributes, the omega-3 and known. Moreover, we conducted some focus group to analyze which attribute could be interesting for consumer, and they confirm the origin as one of the main attributes and the price as one of the main attributes. So we put also price as an attribute. Moreover, we choose to make a confrontation with the Monte Porto label with another geographic label, more known, the PDO, the Protected Designation of Origin, that could also be used for the Monte production, but it's not related to the area, but it's more related to the product itself, and it's less cheaper than the Monte product label. So it could be another opportunity for the Monte producer, but more difficult. And I want to take a step back because I say that producers were interested in the A2 milk, but what is A2 milk? A2 milk is a milk where is not present the A1 beta casein, but is only present the A2 beta casein. These two casein have a different in the amino acid in position 77, and these make this protein more digestible when you eat it. And from literature, it emerges that it could have anti-inflammatory properties. But why this is interesting for mountain producer? Because it could be produced by rustic cattle beers that today are already in the mountain areas and are already in the grassland, for example. And one of these is the red pied, that is rated extensive in Italy. So this is an example of the choice set that we propose to the consumer. As you can see, they can choose between the non-quality label, the DOP, and the no quality label, and from the other attributes that we speak lately. But they also could choose for the I will buy them. So there was the no choice option. From the random parameter logic model, we can see that as expected, the most important attribute related to the choose of a cheese is the local origin. Is the local origin. Related to the attributes related to the health aspect, we can see that the Active Milk was preferred over the no choice option and over the omega-3. So people could be interested in the choice of a cheese with Active Milk. And we can see that we find a higher coefficient for the mountain product label than for the PDO. And this is very interesting because it means that the mountain product label could be a better opportunity for mountain producer than the PDO. However, analyzing the premium price for cheese with the mountain product label and produced with in general, analyzing the willingness to pay, we can see that people recognize a higher willingness to pay for the PDO than to the mountain. And this could be related to the fact that the PDO is more known. So people choose more often the mountain product label, but they give more trust to the PDO because it's more known. And putting together all the attributes, analyzing mountain product cheese with local origin and the Active Milk, we find a premium price of €3.14. And this could be very interesting for the producer because the premium price is very high. I want to underline that we doesn't find a good willingness to pay for the Active Milk alone. And this could be related to the fact that in Italy, this kind of milk it's new. They tried to sell it on the market, but it's not extensive as production and it's not extensive as consumption. So it's a new product, and people maybe could not trust it enough to give it a premium price. In conclusion, how can we improve the economic sustainability of the mountain dairy production? We see that the differentiation is a key strategy to increase the profit margin. In fact, from the cost analysis, we see that the transformation into dairy farms have an effective is confirmed as effective to enhance the raw material value. And we see that the mountain product label could be tool to valorize products. In fact, in both the consumer analysis, in milk and cheese, we find positive premium price. Moreover, there is this opportunity to use the H2 milks to valorize more the product, but it need to be more known by the consumers. So we need to make some marketing campaign and so on. All this is possible only with ad hoc policy. In fact, the problem is that it's not always possible for dairy farms to apply transformation of the milk into other dairy products. And we need more economic finances. Moreover, we need to make more know the mountain product label both for consumer and for producer, because one thing that we see is that not all the interviewed consumer knowing the existence of the mountain product label, and not all the farmers know the existence of the mountain product label. So he have a great potential, but need to be more best communicated. Thanks for your attention. I end it here. This is where Marche region is. I want to put this slide because nobody know our region. We are in the center of Italy, and we talked about mountain because we are not in the Alps, as you can see, but more than half of the region is in the Apennines, and that are also mountain, very high important mountain, less known than Alps, but not less important. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Giacomo Staffolani, for your great presentation. If you guys have any questions, please don't worry and ask your questions to Giacomo. We're waiting for your questions. Let's see if anybody has any questions. By the way, I want to ask you a question, if possible. Yeah, are the mountain dairy farmers in your country, I mean Italy, are they happy to do their job? I mean the income, or do they want to change their job because of less income if they find an opportunity? What do you think?
It's not an easy question. It depends from the area of the farmers. Because
I see.
We interview a lot of farmers in the Marche region, and here the situation is dramatic, because the dairy farmers are thinking about to quit because they have no perspectives. In the last 15 years, the numbers of farms in all the region passed from 5,000 to 90. So there was a very big drop. With this big drop, there were less cooperative, less network, and so people are thinking about why I'm here. I want to quit. I can do other production, other things, and so people are quitting. In other region, they worked more to maintain the network. For example, in north of Italy, there is the grana padana production, for example, or other cheese production, and this lead the farmers an higher income. So they are more happy. They have an objective, a perspective. They know that maybe right now there is a crisis situation, but if we work together, we can go. We can see in the future. In the Marche region, this is more complex because the politics don't make this kind of decision. The cooperatives were not so strong, and so price are the selling price are decreasing because production are increasing, and they see no future.
Thank you, Giacomo. I think Violetta has a question. Yes, go on, Violetta, please.
Thank you. So thank you for a nice presentation. And concerning that I'm a veterinarian, I'm just curious about to like a transformation mode. But what does it mean? Like 30 kilometers from the dairy farm, what do you have to do to still be like to have a mark like a mountain product? So just explain me concerning the dairy how you operate there. Thank you.
I'm not sure about listening the full question because you have a little bit, you was freezing. But tell me if I understand
I will make short. Just can you explain what is the 30-kilometer transformation pattern?
Yeah, yes, of course.
Thank you.
During my presentation, I went pretty fast on the part, so I will explain better. In the European regulation about the mountain proud label, it's written that the milk must be transformed in the range of 30 kilometers from the mountain areas. So if your farm is in a mountain areas, okay, you can transform the milk also in lowlands, but those lowlands must be at maximum at 30 kilometers from the nearest mountain area. It's not easy. It's a great definition, in my opinion, because it's difficult to define what is a mountain area, what is not a mountain area. There are a lot of definitions that are different from state to state. In Italy, we have a specific definition. In Europe, actually, we have a specific definition. It depends from the slopes. It depends from the climate characteristics. So if at a European level, your farm is situated in a mountain area, who can transform and produce and transform the raw material in the farms and have no problem for have the mountain proud label. But if they produce and transform in another farm or in a cooperative or in another place, this other place must be maximum from 50 kilometers from the nearest mountain area. Tell me if I'm not clear, I will try to explain it in other words.
Okay, I get it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And so, sorry everybody for my English. I'm trying my best, but
no, you're really good. We do understand you very well. Thank you, Giacomo. Are there any questions? Any more questions? Let's see. I think we don't have any more questions, Giacomo. Thank you for joining us today and presenting your great presentation. We are really happy to have you here, and we are looking forward to our next summit series. And I wish all of you will join our next summit series as well. We will inform you soon about our next summit series webinar. So thank you very much for joining us. Especially, I thank Giacomo for his great presentation. And Mirella, do you have anything to say as a working group leader?
No, I'm very happy. I'm glad that we start with a new presentation. I hope that in the end of the January or in the first week of February, we will have another guest. So I think that we have starting in a good point. So I think that for each month, we will have one webinar. Thank you so much. Murad for moderating, and thank you, Giacomo, for interesting presentation. Thank you so much, all of you.
Thank you very much. Murad, there is a question in the chat. Maybe.
Yeah. You can answer the question because it's a long question, so you can give an answer.
Okay, please go on.
The question is, was it specifically introduced as part of the EU quality package, or did the quality package open the door for the several labels, including the mountain proud label, to be introduced? Actually, the EU quality package opened the door to introduce this label. But then, with the regulation 6065 of 2014, the label was better explained and extended. One limit of this label is that there is not a single logo for Europe, like is, for example, for PDO, PGI, and STG. But it's regulated at national levels. So the regulation, more regulation regarding this label, it depends from your nation. Some nations move faster, like for example, Italy and Romania have made their own logo, they make their own regulation. And right now, the Italian regulation is the same as the European regulation. It was more strict in the past, but they changed this. In other states, they apply the regulation as it was, for example, in Austria. Other states choose to not apply the regulation. So there is no information about the multi-product label. But you can start from the quality package to have an idea. And if you go in the in GI page of the European Commission, you can find more information about the multi-product label. And if you want to have more information, you can write to me. I'm here. Thank you.
Thank you, Elena, for your question, and thank you, Giacomo, for your answer. Are there any more questions? Let's see the chat. No hand raising, no questions on chat. So I guess it's time to finish. Do you have anything to say more, Giacomo, or are you done? All right, thank you. All right. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining our webinar summit series. So hope to see you our next webinar series, I think in February. Everybody take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. See you soon in the next seminar.
Thank you.